Hey there, YouTube. Crypto Force here again, bringing you another daily dose of crypto. And what I want to talk about today is an ICO that just started this morning. And there was a user on Twitter that asked me to talk about this B token ICO, and I'm glad that he did. The more I research the B token, the more that it's turning out to be legitimate in my mind. And obviously you guys can do your own research, but I'm going to go ahead and share with you the research I've done, what I know about B token, and give you a few opinions. So let's get started. So the B token, what is it? The B token is the first decentralized home sharing network. So it is the first, and it is a huge market. It is a really big market. If you guys have ever heard of Air Bed and Breakfast, they're around a $30 billion company, and I believe they came out in 2008. So, you'll be disrupting a $30 billion just from that company alone market. Now, so it is the first decentralized. Now, this morning, the ICO, the private pre-sale started out, and it lasted less than 5 minutes, and it was all sold out. The coins are going for 14 cents a piece, and they have a cap of 500 million coins. So this is not a extremely diluted ICO. It doesn't have billions and billions of coins. And the next public sale that you can get in on will be January 31st, February 28th, and the minimum contribution is zero point 0.1 Ethereum or a tenth of an Ethereum. Now, the B token, it is an ERC20 token, so it's built on the Ethereum blockchain. And the reason the B Nest was born was because of all the issues that surround centralization, the centralized platforms, reputation problems, security, and then all the big usage fees that compound up to where, when you think you see a room you're going to get for 30, 40 bucks a night, you wind up paying 119 bucks out the door. Everybody's had that kind of crap happen to them, just like booking a cruise. But I'm getting carried away here. So essentially, what their number one priority is in the beginning when they came up with this was to have 0% commissions to host and guest utilizing the B token. And because of smart contracts, automating transactions that will bypass all the commission-based platforms and the financial institutions and currency denominations, they're going to be able to do that. Now, the B token is going to be used for all transactions within their contract. There are no foreign transaction fees. There's no currency conversion fees. All the savings are all passed back to the host and the guests that are holding the token. So it's 100% decentralized. Now, being decentralized, that also means that all your data is not stored on one centralized space. Like if you're on Air Bed and Breakfast, or even you go to Hilton or wherever you go to, if that centralized location, a computer, wherever your data is stored on a server, is hacked, then all your information can be compromised. So this being decentralized, that cannot happen. It is 100% private, and it is seamless security. Now, the BNest platform will also provide the host and the guest with, like I said, the privacy, security, but you also have the freedom to where there is no middleman involved. And that is, that's awesome, because middlemen, really, when you buy something at a store or anywhere, the middleman is making as much money as, at least half the cash you're paying for something, probably. Now, if we take a look at the roadmap, I really like this roadmap on the B token, because it's not extremely aggressive to where it's unbelievable. It shows right here, there is now launching right now the Alpha Live in San Francisco, which is a great place to launch the B Nest or the B token, because in San Francisco you have a lot of people that are really tech savvy. It's really one of the tech capitals of the world. And just the culture, I believe, there's always people looking for cheaper housing and rentals in San Francisco, because if you guys have ever been there, it's absolutely ridiculous how much money it costs to even rent like a 500 square foot bachelor apartment or something. It's just crazy for rent. So I believe this will be a really good market to test this protocol in. And then it goes on to Q3 and 4. It talks about launching B protocols on mainnet. They're going to have 2 to 5 decentralized applications on the protocol. And then we roll into next year's, they're going to expand it to 5 cities. And then you'll have 5 to 10 decentralized apps on the protocol. So like I said, it's a very conservative roadmap. I really like this because it's not showing me something that's unattainable or that's going to be a broken promise. And then it shows us all the way out to 2020, and plus they're going to target the really big cities like London, Korea, Singapore, and then they're going to, and obviously it'll grow bigger than that. So I think the roadmap is definitely believable on this. I really like it. And here it goes on to talk about 0% commissions, the aligned incentive, security, trust, etc. And one of the interesting parts about this, whenever you have an issue, let's say with Air Bed and Breakfast, it's basically left up like, you're not happy with your stay or whatever the case might be. It's basically left up to, Air Bed and Breakfast policies, or whatever they decide's best for you, how the conflict's resolved, or they'll just send you to small claims court. And your reputation score can be affected on the Air Bed and Breakfast and things of that nature. Well, with this B token, and it goes into detail about this on this website. I just don't want to read it word for word. So, you have your payment, arbitration, and reputation. And your payment, it's essentially your host and guest both send their tokens to a payment smart contract. And then those tokens are sent to an appropriate address, and then they, on the checkout date, when no conflicts arise. So if everybody agrees to it, it's all good. Now, if there is an issue and the person that stayed there has an issue or whatever the case might be, and they file a complaint, so it'll create a dispute, and the payment contract will send the funds to arbitration. Now, the B token holders are able to stake their tokens in order to vote on the dispute. So, you'll have reputation scores, you'll have voting power, things of that nature. So there'll be a lot more trust, and it's a lot more in your hands how, these agreements and disagreements are settled. And the reputation scores of the reputation scores associated with your Ethereum address, and it'll be calculated from average multiple reputation scores, including the score of the host, the guest, and the arbiter, and the other issues involved here. So I think it's a very fair system, as far as if there's a reputation, if there is a dispute that arises. I think it's a very fair system on how things will be, fundamentally worked out. Now, the team with the B token, this is a stellar team. You have engineers from Facebook, Google, Civic, which is Vinny Lingham's privacy token, and you also have it's mainly made up of Uber, the Uber engineers. So, as you can see, the co-founder and CEO, he was a former lead of security for Uber. You have a former engineer for Uber. You have a former product for Facebook for the last 7 years, former lead engineer for Google Cloud. You got more Google here. I mean, it's just crazy. Here's the lady that worked for Civic. And so this is just really looks like a stellar team here. They really look like they know what's going on. And as we move along, cruise over here to advisors, and they got some pretty big advisors here. The co-founder of Nigma, so he's obviously MIT. He's on here. You have some UC Berkeley guys. You have the CEO of Quantum Stamp, and some other pretty big individuals. So here's the partners that are going to be handling some funds and also helping reach out to secure different places of stay, and talks about the media posts it's been on. But it's a nice website. They have a really good white paper. I don't feel like pulling it up trying to read it. I know you guys want to hear me anymore. So anyways, I think this is a really good ICO. I think it's one that you guys ought to do some research on if you're interested in it. I personally believe this is legitimate. Out of a 10, I would give this a score of an 8. I think this really could go somewhere, and having all the experience from Uber, I think they understand the dynamics of where they're trying to shift, especially going decentralized with the home sharing network, that this is a big market, and if you can actually get the middleman out, the prices will come down so much that no one will be able to compete with the B token unless they move into the decentralized market and start getting rid of all these massive platform costs and sharing market costs that you incur whenever you go stay at a hotel or you use like Air Bed and Breakfast. So you guys let me know what you think about this video. I think this ICO is legitimate. If you guys have anything else for me to talk about, please let me know. Hopefully you guys have had a great new year, and we can start kicking off some good stuff here, and we can all start making some money in the crypto world. You guys don't panic when you see some red. That's time to buy, in my opinion. But as I said, guys, I think B token's legit. And as always, guys, good luck trading, and Crypto Force signing out.